I'm just gonna press that out and hopefully this works. Well, there was a little part of me that was wrong. You can see the birds have found their way under here. Hey, come with me. I'm gonna show you something on those disintegrate. Very, very nice Chromoly piece. Isn't it nice? Welcome, and thanks for slipping some time with me today. In this episode, we're going to cover some odds and ends and a few tips as well that I think you're going to enjoy. The first thing we're going to tackle is a nasty broken motor mount stud that needs to be replaced, and I'll take you through that and we'll clean it up a bit as well. The second thing we're going to continue on with after that is we're going to install a really cool piece. It's a Chromoly crash beam support beam for the rear. It's lighter for race purposes only, of course, and I'm going to take you through that, and as I mentioned, there'll be some tips along the way. So, let's get on with it. There's a broken stud here. It's a press fit for the motor mount hardware. This one is fine. It's a little out of focus here. This one's fine. Right there, that one's busted off. You can see what I'm using as a ball joint breaker to press it out. It's basically like a lug nut, or lug stud, right there. And I'm just gonna press that out and hopefully this works. I've never done this before, but I've used the same tool on lug studs. I'm gonna part scar, I'm gonna take one out and put it in there. Well, there was a little part of me that was wrong. It actually isn't press fit. It's tack welded from the factory. I'll just show you here, kind of 3 welds there. So good to know when I take the parts one off that I'll do it the same way. Fix all that up, that'll look pretty when it's done. So yeah, just news flash, they aren't press fit like a wheel stud. Good to know. Anyway, got it out. Now I'll get the other one. It's a little windy, but here we are at the parts car, otherwise known as a bird roost. You can see the birds have found their way under here. No mice, just birds. That's fine. And there's the stud right here that I want to get out, which I'll just do the same thing I did to the other one, and then we'll get her done. All right, I got this little guy out. Obviously it's red. I gotta paint this up once I put this all in anyway, make it nice. But yeah, we'll have that back in no time. Awesome. I'm getting this prepped to paint now that I've put this in. It's all ready to go. I just want to brighten it up. Probably doing more of the engine bay whenever I do an engine out, but for now I'm just going to do this mount and clean it up a bit now that I've got that broken stud fixed. She's all painted up now, just that part. I'll be doing more painting whenever we do an engine out on this car, which probably will be over the winter, just to clean things up a little bit. There we are. All right, all the tape's removed and everything from the paint job. You can obviously tell the difference from the new paint to the old paint. This is the exact black match for this car. It's factory paint coats. Okay, something I want to do, this for weight savings. the rear bumper was removed, so we're gonna put a Chromoly one in. It's still light, but at least we got some protection back there, so you'll see when we do that. For now, I'm just gonna remove the back. Hey, come with me. I'm gonna show you something on particular the first generation DSMs. If you wanna see how weathered they are, I'll tell you what rusts out more than anything. The first thing to totally disintegrate, or at least show any signs of rust, is right here. And it's these that hold on the bumper cover, depending on right here. Those disintegrate. So if you're ever looking at a DSM and you want to see how weathered it is, and the body has been painted perhaps, and you don't know what's been covered up, have a look under here. Look at these right here. Right on the bottom here is where it'll rust out the most. And trust me, that tells the story of these cars more than anything will.
And obviously this one is like mint, and this is extremely low mileage Talon. I don't think you'll ever find anything that good unless it's been replaced, and you can't even buy these anymore, so they haven't been replaced. So the best thing you can do is if somebody blasted them and then painted them, but even then, if that's the case, they're gonna show kind of all bumpy from all the corrosion anyway. It's pretty hard to hide the tail of the car on these, given the situation. So I would suggest if you're shopping around and you think it's a perfect paint job or whatever, and it may be, if you want to see just how rusty things are and how much patchwork there probably was, have a look at these. It will tell you the story. I'll just see if we can show you this one on this side, and I think it'll be the same. Just by chance, if they've got a brand new one here somehow. See, it's fine. It's fine. This is a minty car. And you can trust that there's been no rust or anything on this that has been problematic as far as the age of normal corrosion.
What we're going to put on is this very, very nice Chromoly piece. It's from Boosted Fabrication. And what it is actually a rear bumper crash beam replacement, we'll call it. Very light, but it does give you some structural integrity rather than having nothing there. So I'd highly recommend, rather than taking the bumper off completely or crash beam off completely, is to put something there. And this is very strong. I would say it's probably stronger than the actual crash beam that was there. So it gives you some safety, doesn't weigh too much. I'm guessing this is only a couple pounds, to be honest. I'm sure it's less than 5 pounds, but I haven't weighed it. The other thing, you may have wondered why it was taken off in the first place. It was to save weight. Weight is everything when you're racing, right? That's the first thing we're gonna do is put this on. Isn't it nice? Even though you're not going to see that, Darren, that looks good, doesn't it? That looks very nice. You can get these so you know like this. You can also get them so they have an insert for a parachute if you want to add that as well, which makes sense. So check it out in Boosted Fabrications. So now I'm going to put on the bumper cover, I call it. Some people call this the actual bumper, I guess, but I like to call it the bumper cover. It covers the crash beam or bumper. These little bolts that go on, and this goes with anything when there's little bolts. These are only 6mm bolts. What I recommend you actually do is put some anti-seize on them, because the smaller the bolt, the more corrosion can affect them, and they aren't strong. They're a grade 4 metric bolt, so they aren't that strong. So if they seize a little bit, they're pretty easy to twist off. Take the time to put a little anti-seize on them, and then you'll be fine. Everything's back together. Interior's perfect as usual. Got everything back. On to the next thing. So that's about it for this mixed bag episode. I thought you might enjoy seeing the small details that go into making things of a sorted car that a lot of people don't cover, but it all counts as towards to what your common goal is of getting the car where you want it to be and all sorted. So I hope you enjoyed that. More to come for sure as we progress on this car and many others in the stable and outside of the stable as well. And of course, to not miss those, make sure you subscribe. Thanks so much for joining me today on Slipping Time. Don't forget to ensure you enjoy every day and always make it right.